It's funny because I see people that have just discovered me through Padam, and they go, wow, she did this and she did that. They've never heard of Locomotion or Can't Get You Out of My Head, which is at once a little bit alarming, but also just amazing.
This summer, you have succeeded to catch millions of people's attention with two words, Padam Padam. Were you surprised by the echo, the impact of this song?
I was completely blown away by the success of Padam Padam, the reaction, the way so many people were taking ownership of the song and making it part of their life or part of their experience. I mean, every song release, I have nerves and excitement, but I can honestly say I did not see that coming. So it was a total thrill, and to see it, you know, hour by hour, day by day, happening right in front of me, it was brilliant.
Yeah. In France, we love these two words, Padam Padam, because of Edith Piaf.
Yes.
Did you have that in mind when you were recording the song, or maybe writing the song?
Yeah, I didn't write Padam Padam, but obviously when I saw when it came in as a demo, as a pitch for me, I saw Padam Padam and I thought, the only Padam Padam that has ever been in my world is Edith Piaf, of course. So I didn't know if this was something to do with her song, or it was a surprise to me. As it transpires, I think the only similarity is the title. And I actually wondered what French people would think of it. I thought, I didn't know if they would be d'accord with all of that, but it turns out we all love both Padam, so it's okay.
Yeah, we've seen people last night in Silencio and they love it, so
yeah,
you don't have to be worried.
And also, I mean, there's many crazy things have happened in my life, but one of them is being mentioned in the same sentence as the great Edith Piaf. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. It's been viral on TikTok. Do you think you will see very young devotees in the front row of your shows now? Very young people coming? Because there is a new audience with TikTok.
There's a new generation and it's just so brilliant. Like, I am very aware that this is an amazing time where fans who've been with me for years and years are enjoying this moment for me and with me. But then this next generation, I mean, you know, in the 20s, teenagers, kids, it's brilliant. It kind of reminds me of when I started and I had multi-generation. I think I've always had kind of multi-generational, but to have this kind of new gen, loving it and just being, you know, they're so open-minded and so accepting of someone, me, at my age, being, you know, just embracing that, which gives me more energy. It kind of feeds itself. It's a great moment.
When you
and it's funny because I see people that have just discovered me through Padam, and they go, wow, she did this and she did that. They've never heard of Locomotion or Can't Get You Out of My Head, which is at once a little bit alarming, but also just amazing.
Yeah, but this is a good sign because you can have 3 different generations in your shows now: grandparents, parents, kids.
Yeah, and it's truly a pleasure to see that. For me to look out in an audience and see that, you know, multi-generational, multi-generations in the audience. And I mean, it's something I've always very naturally celebrated, is diversity within my audience. And it feels like we're continuing down that path. So that's like satisfying in a different way than having the musical journey, the musical success, but actually speaking to that many people across the board. It's amazing.
It's been a hit this summer, but it's been also a gay summer anthem. Mm-hmm. And you always have had a big fan base in the LGBTQ plus community. Mm-hmm. When was the first time when you realized that the messages of your songs had such an important impact in this community?
The first moment that I realized something was happening with something really was happening was in Sydney, and I was there in Sydney, Australia. I was doing some promotion, and I think my manager had said there's a Kylie night down at the Albury on Oxford Street, which is the main strip that had the most famous gay clubs. And I'm pretty sure I said a Kylie night. Like, what is that? And I learned that there were drags who were dressed as me. And of course I wanted to go, and he said, I don't think you're going. Like, he was a bit nervous about just the security there. But that's the first time that I remember it being that apparent that that there was this relationship and this support, and that there were many more Kylies out there. I've since been to drag shows, and I am the least Kylie there. I mean, I feel like I'm the impersonator because I just go quite kind of natural. I just rolled into this place, and I've got these like supersonic versions of me. Yeah, I definitely would not win the competition. They'd be like, you. No.
And you were performing at the Sydney World Pride at the beginning of this year. Yeah. How was it?
Oh, it was electric. It was amazing. And the bonus performing at Sydney World Pride was my sister was a surprise. So at the end of my show, she popped up as a surprise, and we got to finish my last song together. Wow. And she's a huge ally for the community as well. So to have two Minogues, it's a bit like seeing a unicorn. They still are like, is this really happening? And we don't do too much together, so there's still that element of surprise and celebration.
Mm-hmm. Your new album, Tension, is fitted for the dance floor. Mm-hmm. Was it a name, a goal at the beginning of the process?
Tension? No. Tension, we didn't even start the song with the title Tension. The song began, I was with 5 other writers. We were all going kind of crazy in this makeshift studio, and it turned into Tension. And then it's one of those, and all of us talk about it. This moment of the day of writing Tension was it's just one of those days. The energy was amazing, the input was amazing. We got 2 songs that day, both of which are on the album, and they're completely different. But Tension was definitely a moment. And then I loved the title. When it came to choosing the album title, it did stand out as the most obvious one. I had a little hesitation for a minute, thinking, does Tension sound negative? But thankfully it hasn't been, fans just took to it straight away, said, oh yeah, Tension, we can't wait. Okay, good.
There is a new song named Things We Do for Love. Mm-hmm. And so what was the craziest thing you did for love?
Where do we even start? I dread to think. I would say in a kind of not fun way, the craziest thing I've ever done, and I think, so many of us are guilty of it, is kind of adapting yourself to be what you think the other person wants you to be. So you lose your true version of yourself. So that I will never do again, hopefully. But I've also done a bunch of dumb, wacky, nothing that's had a terribly bad result. But yeah, we definitely do some stupid things.
Yeah. Yesterday at the Silencio, in our glasses there was your rosé and your prosecco. Did your wine business reinforce your link with France?
Yeah, I have such a strong link with France, and because I've been here these few days, I've been talking about it a lot. And I think, when I first came to Paris, would have been my first stop ever in France. And I came across some photos not too long ago, I should put them up on socials, standing at Place de la Concorde, looking up at the obelisk there, and there was a film crew with the old, big cameras. I remember just feeling so glamorous and so inspired. No idea that I would have such a long relationship with France and be so, it's played a big role in my personal development. And I think artistically, just that there's a reason artists are drawn to this city. And I'm just another one of them.
Mm-hmm. What did you learn in your personal development in France or talking with French people?
I was spent the first time that I spent an extended period in Paris was in 1991. So it was like my club phase. I remember having a tiny little English to French dictionary, and that's when I could read super tiny things as well. So what's that? I had a young enough brain. I was absorbing everything everywhere. I was just saying to one of the team here today, I said, when I'm walking in the streets and pass over the metro, there's that smell, and it takes me back to being 21, 22, really like the feeling, part of Paris and discovering so much. So that would be where a lot of my kind of formative, it's part of my formative years. And then again, when I was going through a very, much more difficult time with my treatment for cancer, a lot of that was in Paris as well. So I've had many different experiences in this city.
Okay. Talking about your wine business, your wine is sold in Australia, UK, and it's a great success. Are the others wine producers seeing you as a challenger now?
Possibly. What I've learned so far about the wine industry is it's like the music industry. You support each other, but there's a competitive aspect, of course, otherwise your business will go under. You need that to survive. But I am a fan of a lot of different winemakers. Now I get to meet them. I was at the Pro Wine Fair in Dusseldorf, and I went to the French section, and you've got your superstar rosé makers, and I felt really I felt welcome, which was good. So there is the competitive element, but I did feel welcomed within the greater world of wine, because that's people's passion and their living. So it's been a fun journey of discovery, this other business. It's kind of, it's not a total holiday from music, but it's a change, and I think that's helpful for me.
Are you spending a lot of time visiting in southeast of France, wine domains, tasting wine, meeting people producing wine?
Yes, I can tell you that when I go on my wine trips, they're intense because you you do a lot of wine tasting, you do a lot of talking, you do a lot of eating. They're fantastic, but I do come back 3 days later going, whew, I couldn't keep that up all the time. But yeah, like I say, I'm meeting amazing people, and their passion is contagious.
Okay. I've read recently that if there was a biopic on your life, you would love to have Margot Robbie for the main character.
Yeah, this story has travelled. I was asked, someone asked me, who would play you if there was a biopic? And I got in panic. I was like, I don't know. In my dreams, Margot Robbie, yes, I'm sure that's never going to happen. I'm a huge fan, and I have met her, and she was as radiant and delightful and smart and funny and everything you think Margot could possibly be. I think she's all of that and more. So yeah, I don't for one second think that's going to happen, but it'd be nice to think about. If and when it ever happens, the likelihood is it would be someone who's not so known. And you probably need to be a couple of different actors. If it was a biopic of my life, to be baby Kylie and middle Kylie and then a little bit older Kylie.